The escape from the burning cities. Hello friends, I am Lumina, and I carry the light of stories from long ago. Tonight I will tell you of a man named Lot, and a rescue so bright it outshone the stars. It begins at the dusty gates of a city called Sodom. Lot sat there as the sun began to dip, and he saw two travelers approaching. Even though they looked like men, they carried a quiet, heavenly strength. Lot bowed low and invited them to stay at his home. Inside Lot's home, the visitors sat down to eat. But the city of Sodom was not a peaceful place. It was filled with people who chose darkness over light. Soon, a great, noisy crowd gathered outside Lot's door. They were angry and meant to do harm to the visitors. Lot stood between his guests and the door, trying to keep the peace, but the crowd pressed closer and closer. The situation turned dangerous, but the visitors were no ordinary men. With a sudden flash of heavenly power, the angels reached out and pulled Lot back inside. Then, they struck the men outside with blindness. The crowd stumbled in the dark, unable to even find the doorknob. The angels turned to Lot with a serious message. "The Lord has heard of the great wickedness here. We are sent to destroy this place. Gather your family and leave now." Lot rushed to find his family. He woke his wife, Ada, and his two daughters, Adira and Talia. He even tried to warn the men his daughters were supposed to marry, but they just laughed. They thought Lot was joking. They couldn't see the danger coming. Time was running out, and the first hints of dawn were beginning to touch the horizon. When the sun started to rise, Lot and his family still hesitated. It is hard to leave everything you know, even when the shadows are closing in. Adira and Talia looked around their home one last time, their faces filled with worry. They didn't realize that every second they stayed was a second closer to the city's end. The angels would not let them perish. Because the Lord was merciful to Lot, the heavenly messengers took charge. One angel firmly grabbed Lot by the hand, pulling him toward the exit. "Hurry," the angel urged. "Run for your lives. Do not look back, and do not stop anywhere in the plain." The second angel grabbed the hands of Ada and the daughters. They were led out of the city gates just as the sky began to change. The air felt heavy and hot. The angel's grip was strong and sure, guiding them away from the place that was about to disappear. They had to reach the mountains to be safe. Lot was afraid they wouldn't make it all the way to the mountains in time. He begged the angels, "Please, let us flee to that small city nearby called Zoar. It is close enough to reach." The angels agreed, promising not to destroy Zoar for Lot's sake. Lot and Ada ran across the flat, dusty ground as fast as they could, their hearts pounding in their chests. As Lot reached the gates of Zoar, the sun had fully risen. Suddenly, the heavens opened up. The Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah. Great plumes of smoke and fire rose into the sky, swallowing the wicked cities whole. Adira and Talia ran ahead, the roar of the fire echoing behind them like thunder. But then, something tragic happened. Despite the angel's warning, Ada stopped. She missed her home and the life she was leaving behind. She turned her head to look back at the burning city of Sodom. In that moment of disobedience, she was changed. She became a still, white pillar of salt, frozen forever on the plain. Lot did not stay in Zoar for long because he was still afraid. He took Adira and Talia and climbed high into the rugged mountains. They found a cave to live in, far away from the smoke and the ruins. It was a cold, lonely place, but they were safe because they had finally followed the light. From the high mountain, they looked down and saw the smoke rising from the land like the smoke from a giant furnace. Lot and Talia sat by the cave, realizing that the Lord had rescued them from the darkness. Remember, friends, the light always provides a way out, if only we are brave enough to follow it and never look back.